What if the key to doing more, to achieving more, is actually to do less? What if instead of working really, really hard at trying to achieve something, we work really easy at it? And we end up achieving more than we ever imagined possible. Today, we'll explore how principles from physics can help explain this one surprising truth that the less effort you use, the more power you actually have. Welcome to This Sensational Life, a podcast where we explore how the art and science of embodiment can help you live a more powerful life. I'm your host, Tamara Dressart, a dance artist, a movement scientist, and a passionate explorer of how we can all learn, grow, and improve through movement and sensation. Today, I want to challenge one of the most deeply held beliefs in our culture, the belief that more effort is always better, that more effort, hard work always equals more and better results. And this idea that resting and doing less or having things be easy is a weakness. This idea that slowing down means you're falling behind, because in reality, the exact opposite is actually true. Pausing, slowing down, and using less effort is actually one of the most important, most powerful things you can do to improve your life. And let's explore this concept through the lens of science, through the lens of physics. In physics, there's this concept of potential energy. Potential energy is the same thing as stored energy. It's kind of like if you think of an arrow or a bow being drawn, at the end of this movement of this bow being drawn, there's a bunch of stored energy. And then once you release it, you pause and then release it, that energy is turned into action. This energy can also be explained if you have, let's say, a tennis ball in two different places. One tennis ball's on the edge of a chair, and one of them is on the edge of a cliff. The tennis ball that's on the edge of a chair, when it bounces off the chair, it'll bounce a little bit less every time and eventually peter out. But the ball that's on the cliff has a lot more energy because of its relationship to gravity, because there's a larger distance between the cliff and the ground. So when that ball rolls off the cliff, it has a lot of energy and it can bounce for a very long time before petering out. So this law of potential energy can also be applied to your central nervous system. And in switching in between these states of deep rest and deep action, there's a distance of potential energy between these 2 points, between your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And the thing is, most of us live our day-to-day, walk around using a lot less potential with our nervous system than we actually have. And it's the reason why we're not cultivating the full potential of our nervous system. The full distance between these 2 points is because we're swinging into rest and action. But if we're pushing ourselves to do action more than we do rest, it creates a shorter distance between these 2 points, and then we have less power. We get burnt out, and then we have even less control over our actions, because our nervous system is really what dictates our movement and our action, and a lot of our habits are expressed or wired through our central nervous system. The biggest differentiator that's taking energy away from this dynamic of cultivating a more powerful nervous system is our ability to cultivate very deep rest. And the thing is, a lot of us, when we think we're resting, we're not actually resting. We all build up these patterns of muscular emotional tension and stress that accumulate over the course of our lives and become normal, and we can just not know how to let go of all of these tensions and stresses. So all of this extra effort that builds up over the course of our lives becomes normal, becomes undetected, it becomes our habit. So take, for example, the simple act of picking up a pen to write. Most everyone will over-effort or use parasitic effort. Parasitic effort is any effort that's unnecessary for the task at hand. It's It saps your energy like a parasite. So, for example, if I pick up a pen to write and I'm squeezing my eyes, I'm leaning forward, creating all of this tension in my back, or I'm squeezing my jaw, or I'm holding my hand extremely tight while I write, pressing down 10 times stronger than I need to be. This is all effort that we use during the course of our day that is unnecessary, and it's sapping our energy. This idea that we always have to push hard and work hard permeates our beliefs, and it permeates our movement, and it affects our ability to get deep rest and therefore to continue a more sustainable type of action in the future. And this is a concept that was explored and explained by Dr. Moshe Feldenkrais. He is considered one of the fathers of somatic movement, somatic psychotherapy. And he really applied this whole idea of physics and potential energy to both our nervous system and our muscular skeletal system. Now, here's where it gets interesting. According to this other law in physics, the Weber-Fechner law, your nervous system is only able to perceive a change in effort relative to its current level of normal stimulation. This proportion of perceived change is about 1/40th. So let's say you've been wearing a 40-pound backpack of tension your whole life. You carry this large backpack, and you've been carrying it for so long, you don't even know you're carrying it all the time. And you wonder why your back hurts, or you're tired, or you have brain fog. And you can only notice 1/40th difference change in effort in carrying this backpack. So you only notice 1 pound change, or 1 pound difference. Otherwise, this heavy weight is very normal for you. And you're completely unaware of it until you finally take it off, or you learn how to sense smaller and smaller differences. And that's what the Feldenkrais awareness through movement does. It helps you notice this backpack. All of these awareness through movement lessons, you're done laying flat on the floor. When you are in this position, you can let go of this backpack, and it helps you retrain your nervous system to detect smaller and smaller differences. So if you're carrying all of this weight and all of this tension and you lay down, you're in this completely safe, neutral position, and you can start to notice smaller and smaller differences. And then you have this option of trading your 40-pound backpack for perhaps, say, a 4-pound backpack, where everything suddenly feels lighter, and you can sense 0.1 pound difference, a much smaller difference in effort. And then you can make more and more refined choices around how you move, use less effort through your entire day, and end your day feeling a lot more energized, because you're just not carrying all the extra weight of this normalized tension. So in short, when you slow down, you can sense more differences in yourself, and then you can cultivate this option of doing less. And then when you do less, you have more energy left at the end of the day to do more things. And then suddenly life feels easier and lighter. And if everything you do feels easier, you can do more of it. And so slowing down and doing less helps you move less from this place of stress and strain, and more from this place of ease and lightness and conscious choice, more freedom over what you do. So some questions for reflection. Do you have any areas in your life where this concept, where you sense this idea that you're making things harder than they need to be, that you're over-efforting or spending a lot more attention than you need to? And then what would it feel like to consciously let go and do less in those areas? What would happen if you did less, not in terms of laziness, but in terms of intelligence? How could you work smarter and not harder? And what might be possible if rest was actually not a reward for hard work, but a foundation? It came before hard work and was prioritized to the same degree. In conclusion, we live in a world that's obsessed with output, with doing more, with working hard. And the real story is that your power lies not just in what you do, but how you do it. There's so much power in doing less and so much clarity and awareness that comes through learning through your own sensation. This quiet brilliance that lives in your own awareness. And as Moshe Feldenkrais once said, if you know what you're doing, you can do what you want. But first, you have to sense what you're doing. You have to become aware. And for that, for that level of awareness to arise, we begin not with effort in doing, but with slowing down and rest as this most powerful tool for feeding our own awareness. If you would like to feel this shift for yourself, try a free Feldenkrais awareness through movement lesson. I'll link it in the show notes. And join us inside the Embodiment Explorers Club. This is a space where we practice this same concept, doing less, slowing down, and sensing more. It becomes a practice that we return to week after week. We have weekly live lessons, and it helps living life more freely, powerfully, more sensationally alive. Until next time, stay curious, and that's all for this sensational life.